How's it going, man?
Hey guys, it's your host here with this channel, Dezmond here, along with my friend and co-host.
AnimeMartin.
And just
Somehow still alive.
yeah, I was gonna say, and just to set to state the elephant in the room or set this forward, whatever, we were both extremely exhausted. Like
Yep. I
Martin woke up
I worked
literally 30 minutes ago.
exactly. I worked noon to 9 o'clock shift
Right, and
yesterday.
I'm not sure how classified what the next thing you're about to say is, so if you want to leave it at that, that's probably for the best.
Yes, the following will be redacted. That's all I'm gonna say. All I did was a special mission.
Yeah, and for me, since it was my birthday literally yesterday, I just came back yesterday from a 3-day trip to San Diego with me and some of my friends, and I am feeling it like now, of just like how exhausted I am. You probably hear it in my voice, but that brings up the good issue about today's topic. It's just, I guess, birthdays slash parties in general, and how, how fun some of them were, or some sad, because we've all had those type of parties before.
Yes, I've had few memorable parties, and then I've had those birthdays where I just literally didn't do anything.
I mean, sometimes those ones were good because when I did birthday parties that basically were nothing, I just kind of played my games until I went to sleep, like at midnight. What about
The
you?
true life of a gamer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've been a gamer for a while, and it's just kind of like, if I'm not gonna do anything, I'll game. Except for now, for some reason, I'm just like, instead of like, oh, I can just turn on a game, I'm like, what is the easiest way for me to record this? Because I still want to do that type of stuff. I am.
I'm always
Hmm?
Oh, I was just saying, I'm just always transitioning. So I remember originally I started off as a PlayStation
Yeah, I
player,
remember
then
that.
I went to Xbox. Now I'm trying to get into PC.
By force, because I'm making him do it.
Exactly.
I essentially was just like, hey, we're doing a series on on games, and he was like, you know what, I can get one, and I was like, if you want to.
Next day, hey dude, I got a laptop. Gaming laptop.
It's like, oh, all those other games I had lined up, just toss them out the window. Got it. But anyways, back to topic on birthdays specifically. Uh, I think most of my birthdays were like you and our mutual friend, and then just doing whatever. Like the time we went to Shakey's for my first time. It was literally, I don't remember how it started. It was just like, yeah, just go here with friends. And I was like, okay, who is my friends? Called up two people. Hey, do you want to hang out?
Assemble the boys.
I mean, yeah, which then eventually just became the boy. Because then I forgot what birthday it was, but then it was just you and me for like a good section of those parties after a while. Just either going to your house or going to like some restaurant my mom would take us to. Like that one restaurant that you thought it was a Filipino restaurant, but it clearly wasn't.
All these years, I
Th-
thought it was a Filipino restaurant, and I told people I've only had Filipino food once, and then you ruined all of that by telling me, "Oh yeah, it was in a Filipino restaurant."
I don't think I ruined that. I think you ruined that. You
I
just
don't
like,
know why.
what? I don't know either, because it had a legit area that said Brazilian Grill in neon signs.
I was way off the mark.
You just not look at it. There was also sushi, Italian gelato, and an ice cream fountain, a chocolate fountain, literally behind you.
Look, I was uncultured back then. I wasn't aware.
Just like, yes, this says Filipino. I'm like, if you told me that day, I might have actually just slapped you for being so dumb. To be like, how do you think this fucking restaurant is Filipino?
How dare you dishonor me and my ancestors?
Sure, even though I pretty much dishonor my ancestors every second of my waking life. I mean, I mean, I'm not wrong. I'm like the least Filipino person ever.
Don't be too on yourself. I like to call myself an Americanized Mexican.
Yeah, I mean, fair. It's just the general idea of like we were born here and we kind of lived our lives here. That's kind of what we are. Which is, I mean, it's not bad. It's just like, we're not what you expect. We're not a good representation.
Hey, at least you visited the Philippines. I still haven't visited Mexico yet.
I thought you did.
Okay, asshole.
I legit thought you were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go there for like a party or something.
No, well, I want to go in the future. I want
Oh,
to go there for one of my birthdays with my, friends, family, girlfriend.
I was gonna say friends. You're gonna have to listen. You're my bro, like super, and not even like just bro. I mean like actually like close as a brother. You would have to convince me to go to fucking Mexico. All right.
Why not? You can pass.
Whoa, hold up there. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. That might have been the most fucked up thing I think I heard you said in a while. Yeah, just tell the Filipino, oh, he'll pass when he goes to Mexico. What the fuck? But I mean, it's just kind of like it's kind of slightly dangerous, slightly arid heat weather, and not being able to speak the entire language is kind of an off-putting thing, don't you think?
Oh, trust me, when I go, I'm going with, for sure, either my grandma's or somebody in my family that speaks Spanish. I am not going on my own. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, you would have to convince me to be like, oh, no, we're going with like, one of your like uncles or like fathers, like he'll, and we will never leave his side. I'm like, okay, I'll go then because I now know I'm not gonna go and disappear one night.
Exactly. Like, hey guys, I'll be back. I want to go get something from a vending machine. And that was the
Gone.
last time we saw Joseph.
Yeah, just gone,
I mean,
completely
Desmond.
gone. So that's why I'm just like, you would have to convince me, even though it's probably like the quickest trip ever because it's like what, like a couple hours from any point in the U.S.
Especially in where we live or where you live.
Yeah, it's just like literally
Keep
like
on forgetting.
a drive.
You know,
Keep on forgetting
keep
you're
on forgetting.
across the
I'm no
world.
longer part of the mainland U.S.
You're literally across the world. I forget I'm not in the U.S. How does that work? But
It's because I'm on base.
yeah, I mean, to be fair though, a party, especially a birthday party in Mexico, a safe area in a party place in Mexico, that sounds fun, but I would be kind of like suspicious. And I know it's like saying, oh, that's just a stereotype. I'm just like, I don't want to take the chance of being in a foreign country and anything bad can go wrong. Because, like,
It's always better to travel in pairs or with a group.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think pairs is out, but a group, I could see, yeah, yeah. But speaking of group, that's not something I had at most of my parties. That it was just literally like, hey, we're gonna go 3 people max to like this weird place we've never been to. Hope we don't die. Like, what was all right? We went to a something for either my birthday or your birthday, and we went to like this sketchiest fucking restaurant in the middle of nowhere. Do you remember that? I think it was
No, honestly. Was it? Did I go?
yeah, no, it was definitely you. I mean, it was sketchy, right? But like I think the most sketchy place that you remember was the time we went to this pizza place by like a gas station, or was it a
I
gas?
vaguely remember that.
I think it was called Straw Hat.
Yes, never mention that to me ever again, that place.
Did you get food poisoning from there once?
More than once, on several occasions,
Oh
because
no.
there was one near my house.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always get it for convenience sake. And it took me a while to realize that the pizza was always giving me like, cramps and the whole shebang.
I thought that was just because you're lactose intolerant.
I I am, but it was just more than that.
Oh,
Like I
was it
was
like the
actually getting
meat as
sick.
well? Oh no.
Yeah. Like I remember once I had their pepperoni and cheese pizza and I actually got really sick. I was in bed for like a few days. It was just more than the lactose that hit me. Something I caught it. I don't know what it was, but
Probably.
after that I was like, yeah, it's definitely something's wrong with Straw Hat Pizza.
Well, yeah, because I remember we went there like twice. One for my birthday, one for a different reason. We don't talk about the second trip. But the first trip was like, it was okay until I realized how sketchy of an area it was. Like, I think that was the only restaurant or store in the entire like block, like the only place, and it just looked like it was running down to the point where I'm like, I think the walls were like not even painted,
That's
and
a
we could
good sign.
see into the kitchen, and it didn't look that good. Like it looked like one look at that place, you'd be like, all right, I think it's time to go somewhere else. But we were teens, dumb, and we were like, we're already here, so might as well just keep going.
So commit.
And pretty bad
Yeah,
because
that worked out well for us.
yeah, remember that one time someone just doused their entire pizza with salt, thinking it was cheese.
That was yours truly.
You're like, yeah, no, just add more cheese. One bite, that's salt.
First of all, who puts salt on a table?
I don't. Also, it was in a
Well,
fucking
in a pizza restaurant.
right. But here's the best part. It wasn't even in the salt shaker. It was in those fucking like things you have the cheese and chili pepper flakes in.
Yeah, those like little glassed,
Yeah,
like
those.
round bottles. I don't know what they're called, but
Yeah, those.
you always see them at pizza joints.
And they always have cheese and the cracked peppers in it, not fucking salt.
Yes. I was trying to figure out why should there be salt here on this table, especially in you know, a pizza restaurant. Obviously, many other restaurants have salt on their tables, but why here? I
I
have not seen that before.
I don't know. And it wasn't even a thing where it's like, oh, this is like no oil, grease-free, salt-free pizza. This was like a couple steps up from like cafeteria pizza of how oily that shit was.
Basically, cardboard.
Just basically salt, cardboard, cheese, and meat. And that's essentially what it was. So I don't know why they were like, yeah, just add more salt to your pizza. I'm like, oh, okay.
Thank you for ruining something so beautiful for me.
What pizza?
That day, I vowed vengeance on Straw Hat Pizza.
You just never went to it again. I thought the reason
Yep.
you didn't want to go there was because the second trip was so scarring.
Yeah, it's honestly I have no idea what you're talking about.
Which one? The second trip?
Yeah.
The second trip with the dude from the friend group.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the second trip.
Mr. J.
Now say it again with a
That's
Brooklyn accent.
Mr. I can't. Mr. J. Mr. J.
No, you went so far south with it. But yeah, but
It's weird how
Jay,
he inserted himself in that.
I thought we invited him. I thought it was like, let's have like a small get together, a small little party at this random pizza place. And we were like, why
Yeah,
not
because
invite him?
the way I remember it, me and you, we were obviously in the big group, but we were our own little subgroup. So
Right.
we were planning to do something like after school, and I forgot who, but one of us mentioned, "Hey, there's Straw Hat Pizza." It was right near the McDonald's we frequented, so
Except it
we
was an
made
empty
plans to
lot,
go.
yeah.
And then I think Mr. J heard us, and he asked if he can come along with us. And then we were just like, sure. We weren't really too acquainted with him. I just remember we had like one or two classes with him, but we didn't really speak to him that often. And then somehow he inserted himself into our little hangout. Just that one time.
Yeah, but I would say that's the only time he's hung out with us. Which I mean,
Master thought he was probably too cool for us.
probably saw you douse your pizza with salt and was like, man, this guy's an idiot.
He's like, do I want to be seen with these losers?
Oh,
Especially this uncultured dude over here.
oh, the irony of that one. But I mean, other than that, I mean, there was a party. It was a birthday party, I believe, for someone else. It was like a different friend group, and I went with them. And it was a pretty fun party, but like it was interesting because it was like almost on like a ranch. It had a massive backyard, like a yard almost, with like small barns around it, like a full ranch, you know. And that was also the time that I tried, legit tried rabbit, like wild rabbit, I guess. I would hope it's not domesticated rabbit, but who knows? And
Aw. You ate Mr. Furballs.
if there was any fur in that, I would have walked out of that place straight up. Thankfully, it was cooked pretty well. Like it was like not too tough, not too chewy, but it was definitely cooked. And all right, this is gonna make it sound really weird, but like it was cooked with a bunch of like spice and like flavoring to the point where like it didn't taste like a meat. It just kind of tasted like, you know, the seasoning, the spices that it was with. And to give you like a sense of what the seasoning was, it was tasted. I'm pretty sure it was just mostly adobo spice. And kind of like putting it together, yeah, it was with like a friend group who were like, who was like, I guess it was like a Mexican birthday party, and you can kind of tell the vibe because you have like all these kids playing around there, and then all the adults in a separate table just drinking.
Yep. That's a typical Mexican party right there.
And to the point where like, and it also had some guy who was slightly drunk, but who was also the one in charge of raising and lowering the pinata. It also had a pinata. That was an important part I should have mentioned. There was a full blown pinata, and it was like the most wild experience I ever seen. Because like before, it's like, oh yeah, it's just the only pinatas I seen at a party were like white style ones, where it's like very calm, very whatever, right? This was like people were taking full on baseball bat swings to this thing, and it was like going up in the air like a good 10 feet because it was hoisted onto a barn. It was some of the most wild experience I've ever seen. It was just a normal party, apparently.
Pianos are always a thrill at my family parties and gatherings. You always had that one deal who would shoot the pinata up really high just to mess with the kids, or when they would put a blindfold on you and then just how you swing, and you're just swinging into the random void, praying that you didn't hit someone in the head, and next thing you know, they just hit you with the pinata,
Right.
and you just get more mad and just start swinging even more.
Also, not gonna lie, I thought that sentence ended with, "Oh yeah, you would also have the one Theo that would just shoot the pinata." I'm like, I'm sorry. If that ever happened at a party, I don't. I would love to see it, but probably just that once, because I feel like that would get very problematic very fast. Like, can you imagine that? Just you're at a birthday party, there's a pinata, right? And then one of your uncles or tios is just like, "Oh, the kids need help. Don't worry, I got it." Just busts out a fucking pistol, shoots the pinata.
Like, it's dead. It can't hurt you anymore, kids.
It's like, all right, there you go, kids. Now you can try again as they're cowering from the gunshot. Like that just seems like. All right, let's be honest. That would, if that were to happen, it would 100% be like an LA family. Let's be honest here.
A Los Angeles thing.
That is definitely a Los Angeles thing, and I can't think of anything else to sum that up. Like in to sum it up perfectly was just like, yeah. So my uncle at my birthday party just shot the pinata with a gun. It's like, was anyone hurt? No, but I mean, like, it was a weird experience.
Yeah, one of my cousins bit into the shell. He thought it was a candy. Imagine somebody just saying that.
He's like, yeah, now I have to get ready for my cousin's funeral. He has lead poisoning.
No.
Oh no. But like, here's the thing. I feel like that's not well, not a common, but like if that someone said that at their school in LA, they'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right. That's just normal things.
Yeah, man, that happened at my my cousin's birthday party last month.
And speaking of like uncommon things though, for once in my life, actually did something kind of big for my birthday, which was I went to San Diego. Hence why I'm exhausted mentally and physically. And like it was fun. Like the trip to there was it was fine. There wasn't that much traffic. It was a relatively good day out. We just jamming, having fun, and but I don't know. After a certain point, it was just kind of like that feeling of like, man, we've been on the road for about an hour. I just want to get up. That hit me so fast because it was just like you're just gonna drive down this freeway for about an hour and 30 minutes, and I was like, okay, that should be fine. Literally an hour in, I'm like, I want to get out. I'm so bored.
You're like, can we go home now?
It's like just turn around and go back. But no, we went to the Airbnb, got lost once because it had no clear like sign saying like, "Hey, the garage is this way." Because it was one of those garages where you have to go in like the back alleyway. Because we didn't go to a hotel, we went to an Airbnb because Airbnbs are just straight up better.
Yeah, I've
And
been to one before.
an
Seoul.
Airbnb,
Hmm.
how I wonder what those are like in Korea.
Awesome, dude. It was one of those ones you can tell that they had frequent,
Oh, guess.
foreign guests. So
Mm.
people were always,
That sounds like the best location. I think for ours too, because we were like 10 minutes from the beach on foot. So
and
that was like cool, great access. But also, all right, so the way this Airbnb was too, it was like a set of three small houses, like bungalows, basically, right? And each different bungalow had their separate people visiting, right? So it was me and three of my other friends. We had the middle one. Then there was a couple, I guess, either on the left or right, probably on the left. And and then I guess someone else on the right that we never saw. But all I know is the immediate like feeling of like awkwardness when we first entered our Airbnb area was so apparent because I don't think these couples knew that there would be more people coming into this like Airbnb village or whatever, and we just kind of show up, just stumbling out, just being like obnoxious because that's how me and my friends are, just a bunch of memers. And so the look of almost just like, oh no, here comes more people was apparent. Like they're just kind of like, yeah, they're there, and I was just like, I want to say hey and just have fun with them. They were very quiet, very not wanting to interact with other people, if that makes sense. But who
yeah, I
cares?
get what you mean.
Yeah, because I was like, it'll be fine, but it doesn't matter because you know what? The Airbnb, great. It was like that vibe of like you're at your grandma's house because of how like homey it felt. It felt very nice, very cool. The only issue was that there was a side room with two twin beds and one master bedroom that I got because my friends were like, you pay for the Airbnb, you get the master bed. And I was like, okay, but to get from the side room where my other friends were staying at to the bathroom, they had to go across the master bedroom to get to the bathroom. And so there would be
Seems like a
multiple.
design flaw.
Yeah, but like it was so hilarious because there are multiple times, just like the dead of night, one of my friends just I can hear him opening a door because the doors aren't like soundless. They're like the doors that you have to force. Like you can have to like put some force into it, and it makes that sound of like wood creaking. So I'm like, oh, someone else is here. Look over to my side, just see some guy stumbling in the dark, being like, just going to the restroom, opening the door, flicking on the light, closing the door. So just, the flashbang of light just hits me. I'm like, well, I'm kind of up now. But other than that, good place, amazing place, whole kitchen. They also left us welcome gifts, which are like, some bottled waters, some chips, some granola bars. And let me tell you that those were appreciated because in San Diego, just partake in activities. Let me tell
Had
you, those
those
things,
midnight cravings, as they say.
dude, we finished that and like a whole 2 bags of Doritos the first night.
Ho ho!
Well, that's because like it was like it really felt like the first time for everyone. And I was just like, this is weird. And so we just ate so much food. Like so much junk food specifically. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we'll just have like some fruit snacks. No, it was like day one, 2 bags of Doritos and a bunch of like goldfish crackers. Day two, fucking or night two, I guess, fucking a whole tray of French fries and more and like frosted donuts. So to say,
Dude, no reason you're like so low on energy. That's all you've been eating.
well, no,
You have like,
we had actual meals, but like at like 10 o'clock at night, we'd just be like, all right, fucking devour whatever we can find in sight.
poor
But
food. There were no survivors.
yeah. Also, weird thing. The only grocery store that had food near us was a Target, and not a big
Really?
Target. Like I'm talking like a Target that's like very small, like almost a outlet more than a store. And
Like the smaller branch ones.
yeah, to the point where like the food section was like probably the size of like a college dorm, like a single room of a college dorm.
Mm.
And
So I assume they probably didn't have like much of a selection.
not really. They had some stuff, like fries, uh, bacon, bread, eggs, and I believe, oh yeah, they also had like cooked shrimp in those bags you can take. We got some of those, and that's kind of was our food plan because we were like, we don't have anything else really per se because the Target didn't have anything. But I mean, we did some cool stuff. Like, my friend cooked a steak because they had steak, and I'm like, if you want to eat Target brand meat, go ahead, but I don't trust that.
Like that's
I
just
hmm,
recipe for disaster right there.
exactly. I instead opted to eat the frozen meals that you just had in the microwave because I didn't want to cook anything in the Airbnb. I also didn't trust anything to cook at the Target. So it's like, oh yeah, what's my meal? Some ravioli. Meal two. What's my second meal? Fucking, what was my second meal? Oh yeah, just mac and cheese. Like
Sweet old mac and cheese.
it's the best thing to have. But
Have
then
you ever had it with barbecue sauce?
I've actually had, yeah, at restaurants mostly that did that because it would be like, oh yeah, here's
My,
our 4 cheese mac and cheese with barbecue chicken. And I was like, all right, why not?
when I first saw that at my old base, they would make that every once in a while. I was skeptical at first. Then I tried it, and I was like, y'all need to serve this more often.
Did they just do like Kraft mac and cheese with barbecue sauce?
And chicken.
Oh, and chicken. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good. But oh, speaking of more food adventures, the last night we had a barbecue grill night because we had a grill outside our house or bungalow, Airbnb, whatever you want to call it. And we were like, "Yo, we have a grill." And I looked, it's like it's a propane grill and it's already hooked up. So guess what? We're gonna do a barbecue night. And here's where things get hilarious. I was like, "Hey, since we have a barbecue and we have a bunch of food, I mean a bunch of food. My friend made bacon wrapped shrimp on skewers. And then two of my other friends had like bratwurst and hot dogs. I'm like, yo, this is just a party. Let's invite the other neighbors, right? We found out before we started cooking, literally the two bungalows right next to us, everyone in those bungalows just left. Like their vacation time was over or whatever, but they were just gone. So basically, the last night and the last morning of our trip to San Diego at the Airbnb, it was just us in that village because everyone else just left.
Sounds like the start of a horror movie.
I mean, not really. I mean, it probably could have been, but I don't think it mattered because they would have to see four people just there, four dudes just ready to go, with also a whole kitchen worth of utensils to defend themselves. So I don't think we were in any danger. They would have been in danger. Also, best part about that, I just realized, uh, we when we were cooking, right? One of our friends had to use the restroom, and then said, and I quote, "Hey, I think something's wrong with the bathroom window." And we were like, "Why? What's wrong?" The blinds didn't go down all the way, and the part that left was exactly to at the height to see if you were in the if you're in a restroom and you were gonna pee, right? That opening, that gap where the curtain was, could see directly at your junk.
Oh my! Talk about bad timing.
It was dick height. And someone was in the bathroom and he said, I think those two couples were just sitting there because there was also a bench across from our bathroom window that just looked directly into our bathroom at that gap where you could see someone's dick. So, I
That
maybe
bench had a show.
hmm,
Yeah, at least that bench had a show.
apparently, I think that's why those two couples just left because they were like, we just saw four people's dick in the course of an hour. I think it's time to leave.
Just trip ruined.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, we if they were still there, I would have invited them to the barbecue party and smooth things out. But no, everyone just fucking left. But I mean, the good news about that was there was also no one around for us to bother with, so we could go into the jacuzzi because there was a communal jacuzzi. It was just us, so we're like, we're just gonna take over the jacuzzi for an hour, and we did, and it was the most relaxed I've ever been. Despite being, since I'm tall and some of my friends are also tall, there were just moments where just people were just touching people's toes, and that's like really awkward for me. Of just being like, just relaxing in the hot tub and just feeling another dude's foot. And you're just like, hello?
That's one way to create an awkward situation.
Yeah. And it's just kind of weird because like the center areas where all the bubbles are, and so you just want to like stretch your feet out there and relax, but then you just smack someone else's foot and just kind of be like, hey, who's playing footsie with me right now? I did not consent.
Reminds me of the time I was in basic when
Uh,
we had communal showers.
someone grab you?
No, it was just always weird walking in there,
Oh,
especially when there was somebody taller than me.
yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, just look at the ceiling. Just don't look down. Just go in there and shower real quick and get the hell out.
Was it like prison rule? Oh no,
Yeah.
private, private dropped the soap.
I did drop the soap once.
Oh my god, why?
And everybody was like, oh, he dropped the soap. I'm like, y'all fuckers just ruined this moment. I'm out of here. I don't need to shower. I
Wait,
did not pick up that soap.
did they actually joke around saying, "Oh, he dropped the soap"?
Yeah, well, come on, dude. It's like, it's the military. Of course, we joke around.
How many dudes were just like, as soon as they heard the soap drop, they just turned around at you?
At least half of the flight did. So like
Oh
at
no.
least 20 dudes. They that either said that he dropped the soaps, looked in disbelief that it actually happened, or just looking to see what I would do next. And I was like, yeah, I'm not. Y'all fuckers just want me to go bend over and grab it, don't you? I'm not giving you that. Just walked straight out.
I
Did
was
not
gonna,
shower that night.
I was gonna say, did anyone look like they're about to jump you? Speaking of which, I think also my friend may have shown his bare ass at a couple as well. Because again,
Jesus Christ.
that bathroom window is literally, you can't do anything about it. Like, we tried pulling it down, does not want to go down, and if you pull it up, well, you just made the problem way worse. And so he was saying he was changing to take a shower because we just got back from the beach, so he just wanted to get all those, you know, beach water off and sand. And he said as he was changing, he realized, as you do, you would take off your shorts and, he would do the stuff. And then he realized he was just showing anyone who wants to look into our bathroom window that doesn't close all the way, just a full view of his ass. And I
The
was,
owners of that, was it Villa, you said?
it was like an Airbnb villa, or bungalow village type of thing.
Like the people that own that, they intentionally did that.
Probably. Here's the weird part. I'd be okay with that being a thing, but like, because it's like, oh, you misjudged it or something wrong happened. Fair enough. But then why would you put a bench that looks directly into that bathroom window?
See my point exactly.
Like, it wasn't like.
There,
Here's the funny part. Like, no, here's the best part. That bench wasn't like just, oh, it was the only place. There's literally a whole empty courtyard, and the one bench was staring directly into the window that was at dick height for all of us.
for like swingers own that Airbnb village.
I don't know. It's kind of, it's kind of weird because there's four dudes in this one, but yeah, sure. And it was just weird that that was his thing. Just be like, oh yeah, hey, if you're gonna get undressed and take a shower, you're gonna flash the neighbors. And the thing was, that was only our bungalow. You couldn't see in any of the other ones. They had tinted windows in the other ones. Ours just
Jeez.
straight up showed everything.
Yes, it sounds like it's got paired up with the worst one.
No, don't get me wrong. The actual Airbnb was great. It was just, this weird problem of anyone passing by this window can see us at any moment in the bathroom.
Just walking by in the middle of the night, turn to your left, and boom, you get flashed.
Yeah, basically. It's weird. Also, the other windows were fine, other than the fact in the kitchen, you could also just peer into the kitchen and see us cooking. But that's fine. We're not going to be naked in the kitchen cooking. At least I don't think we were. And so,
That would have been an awkward thing to see. Just see four dudes naked cooking.
that's like one step above seeing those same four dudes without shirts on in the jacuzzi.
If I saw that, I'd be like, "Hey man, these dudes know how to party."
And here's the funny part. It started off with the four corners of the jacuzzi, but then for some reason, my friend was like, he doesn't want to sit on the corner anymore because that's where the jets are for some reason. So he moved over. Then I realized he is within arm's length of our other friend, and I'm just like, why don't you lean back just a little bit further for him? Why don't you? And you're just like, what are you talking about? I'm like, and it's just like, I can see him literally so close to him. I'm just like, all right. And I'm just like, and I remember telling him, I'm glad there's no one here to see us being like this. He's like, what do you mean?
At least y'all have fun.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Like, other than the fact there was no grocery store around us. Uh, the window was at a sus level where you could just see everything. And the fact that my room was the only way to get into the bathroom. And
It'll be a memorable one.
also my friend was like, he was like, oh yeah, I'll sleep on the couch, right? We found out the second night that it's a pull-out bed instead of a couch.
Wow.
And he was like, I've been sleeping on the couch and not the bed. I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate.
Fortunate peasant.
Yeah. But then and then he switched beds with someone else anyway, so it was fine. I thought there was a moment where we were all gonna just pass out in the living room, all four of us. but that never happened. Instead, because it was like 12:30 in the morning, like so 12 a.m. or I guess yeah 12 a.m., which is like past midnight. And I remember I'm like, I'm just getting really tired for multiple reasons. One, because it's the same reason why we ate a bunch of that food. The second one was because it was midnight. So I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed. So I'm just laying there in my bed, which is literally 3 feet from the living room. And I didn't close the door because, like, if I did, they would have to walk around the entire place. So I just left my door open, and I could just hear them and look at them, just be like, "Oh hell!" They were watching like some video, and they were still laughing and still like munching on stuff, and I'm just like, "My guys, it's 12:30. Checkouts at 11."
Oh shit.
Well, yeah, well, it's like 11 hours from that time, so I'm like, we probably should get going or do something. And then I'll remember it was me in bed, and then my friend closes the door in the light, and he's like, "Good night," and then immediately flicks it back on. He's like, "Sorry, I have to use the restroom." As I was tucked in bed, just comfortable, just being like light on, flashed my eyes, just like, "Sorry, man, I have to use the restroom."
I would
Just,
just hold it in.
just be like, what? Would it just go?
Just go, asshole. You already woke me up.
It was hilarious. That literally there's the only way into those restrooms is literally my room or the back room from the bungalow, and you might as well just go through my room at that point. But
I would not like a house like that. Where
I mean,
if I
yeah,
only had one restroom, the only way to get there was to go through the master bedroom. Just no privacy at all.
I mean, yeah. There were multiple moments where I was talking to my friend, I was just like, "Hey, dude," he's like, "Yeah, don't come out. Why? I'm changing my shorts." Because if not, they just walk in on me, just no shorts or underwear on, just be like, "Oh, this is like high school all over again."
And then I'm asking, hey, so are you DTF?
In
Do
the
you want a
locker
bro
room.
job?
Oh God. You joke about that? I think that happened in our high school at one point.
No way.
Not between us, obviously.
Yeah,
Don't
obviously.
don't laugh when you say that. It's gonna make it sound so much more suspicious.
So sus.
God damn it. But yeah, I think that happened because remember there was like at least one or two people who were in the locker room who was like openly, gay. So it could have. I'm pretty sure there's some weird stuff happening. It's high school.
There's always something happening around the corner in the locker room.
Yeah,
Some deal or transaction.
except for this one was a physical one, but probably. I mean, there was also like a weird like prison shower area to the locker room. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, I'd used those before.
For what? Oh yeah, you were in the
I was
track,
remember.
or not
No, I was
track,
on the
swim.
swim team. Yeah, dude. I tell you, we had to wear slippers when using that.
No shit.
Just
That
imagine there being mold and like you can tell some dudes just would piss
that
while
was
they were
like,
showering.
yeah, no shit. I doubt they cleaned that area. They barely cleaned the locker room in general. They didn't even clean the locker room bathroom the whole year. Do you remember that
We always
area?
had one toilet that was clogged. Yeah.
That shit was the most disgusting place in the entire school. Guarantee. Like
Remember that the showers too had like a cage around them?
oh yeah, it was no, there was like a cage around it for some reason.
I'm like, y'all do like fucking battles in here or something in the middle of the night?
I think because that was like also the way to go to like the equipment storage area. So they were like just
Oh,
to prevent theft, I guess. But who's gonna walk into a fucking locker room equipment area and steal like I don't know a weightlifting machine? Who the fuck's gonna do that?
who the hell steals something that'll make you live longer?
I know, right? They instead it's like no, no. Instead, what happened is they would fucking rob the vending machine literally outside the fucking locker room.
Which hardly worked.
Yeah. Well, that's because they had it in a cage because fucking high school people are animals and just destroy it to get the free Gatorade. Hey, by the way, if you're gonna just a quick tangent, if you're like a, I don't know, board of education or whatever of a high school, and you make kids run the mile, probably give them like water at least after, like
Yeah,
complimentary water, instead of
I
being like,
yeah.
oh you didn't bring an energy drink or like not energy drink, like a Gatorade drink or like Powerade or water. Well, sucks to be you. Now run this fucking mile.
Especially when it's hot as hell outside.
Dude, they made us run during like what, 89 to 90-degree weather.
Yes.
They
I
were like,
think we had like wasn't there one instance where somebody just passed out?
yes, I remember that vividly. And they were like, all right, gym's over. I'm like, oh, really? It's over. No shit, it's over. Someone nearly died. But it's weird to me that our school, I mean, not weird to me because our school is not the best, but it's weird to me that that might be normal, where it's like, oh yeah, just make the kids run. Fair. Okay. Are you going to help them afterwards? Like give them water or something? No. It's like, what? Why? Wait, hold on.
That would have been much appreciated, after finishing a goddamn mile, 2 mile jog if you're crazy and stupid like me. You have a nice cup of water just
Yeah,
to.
just, yeah, like, here's the thing. I would have been fine if it was just like a normal case of like, I don't know, Arrowhead water that they just give you. I'd be like, fine. I'm like, yeah, fine. Just give me one of those. Yeah. Instead, they're just like, just cool off in the grass under the sun and try not to dehydrate yourself. It's like, what?
Tell you, those PE teachers did not give a damn.
No, they did not. But that's the tangent over because it just reminded me of like, you probably should be giving these kids water, right? Because, dude, even the Airbnb gave us water. And I'm like, I mean, to be fair, we did pay them, so I mean, that's the least that could be a thing. But like, they should probably care about that, shouldn't they?
You'd think they would, but come on, this is public schools we're talking about.
You're right. And this is America, so of course I got better treatment at the place I paid money to than the one I didn't have to. Cause like they gave us a lot. Like they even gave us the garage, which was hilarious to me. She's like, oh yeah, just here's free parking space in San Diego, which is hard to come by in the first place. And then just, yeah, just a whole bungalow. And here's the best part: we didn't even have to meet the owner at all. Like
Nice.
it was one of those things, yeah, because it was like all like numpads and stuff. So they just gave us the codes for the garage, Wi-Fi, and the door to enter our place, and that's it. We never had to talk to anyone. Apparently, even the neighbors who left at the first sight of us.
Yeah, geez, I wonder why.
I mean, to be fair, them seeing our privates was not part of our plan. That was just how our bungalow was designed to be a peep
Just
show,
naturally happened.
apparently. And I mean, not gonna lie, I wish it was longer so we could do more things, but it was still a big step up from being like, whoa, what am I gonna do for my birthday? Eat at the house and then just game the rest of the day. That's basically what all my birthdays were like until this year. And it was my 25th birthday too, so it's like, I guess a big number.
Yeah, to make it a big one. The big 2-5, halfway through to our 30s.
I thought you were gonna say halfway through life. I'm like, you think I'm gonna die at 50?
Yeah, it's like, well, no. Okay, I have money on you. Let's just go with that.
Are you the one paying my life insurance? But I mean, to be fair, if I were to die at 50, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm gonna be honest with you, because if I died at 50, one of two things have happened. Either, I was being reckless in my normal everyday life, and I died because my health is pretty shit. So I'd be like, fine, whatever, that was on me. Or two, I died doing something for a video. And to be fair, if I died for a video, I already knew what I was getting myself into, and it would be fine because then I'd be like, hey, at least I died doing something I wanted to do, right?
Man dies fighting a gorilla.
No, because I don't want another Harambe incident. Our savior Harambe.
People vote
But
for him in the last election or in
oh,
one of the previous ones,
yeah, someone put his name on a ballot, and I thought that was hilarious.
and I think he got like a few thousand votes.
Of course he did. Why would he not, even though he's dead?
That's a clear insight into U.S. politics right there.
It's a fucking show. The fucking last president was not even a politician. Anyways, before we get into politics, just in general, even us Americans know the American fucking politics system is a joke, and that's where I'm gonna leave that joke because politics is not our. It's not something I want my channel to be on because that's a messy subject.
Slippery slope.
Very much so. That's how I get destroyed on the internet is having an opinion apparently. But back to topic. That was my I guess this was my best birthday. So what was yours? Do you have like a cool story of a trip you took for your birthday that was like this was a fun trip and not depressing at
Yes,
all?
it was the. It was like a year into in being in the service. I haven't been. I wasn't home, and my parents didn't see me at my graduation due to COVID. So we had to do a live stream. So it was pretty bad that I that my parents didn't see my graduation in person. They didn't see my graduation from tech school, and that it took me a year just to see them. So originally, what we planned was for my birthday, my parents were gonna video call me, and they did the whole thing, rented some a bouncy castle, some food. They invited both sides of the family, and surprisingly, pretty much everyone was going because they wanted to see me, even if it
Right.
was through a video call. But unfortunately, days before the party, my mom got sick, so they had to cancel it, and everybody was bummed out about it. My parents thought that I canceled my leave, but what happened was that me and my dad secretly were plotting that I was actually taking leave home. So when my mom set up a new date a week later, she wasn't aware that the day before the party,
Mm-hmm.
I was already, down the street at a local hotel, just waiting. So just imagine her just in bed, doing her own thing, getting better, and boom, I just popped through the door in uniform, holding a get well card, a teddy bear, and some flowers. It really made her day. She was really happy to see me. And she was so surprised. She was mad at my dad, saying, "Why didn't you tell me he was coming?" And he was like, "Babe, it's a surprise." So then what we did is we plotted because now they both knew, well, obviously. Nobody else knew that I was home. Everyone thought I was going to be working over the weekend at my base.
Right.
So when the party happened, everyone was having fun. People were getting ready to do the video call. My dad called me, and I was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm at work, everyone. This and that." And then my dad played it off as though the call dropped. So he was calling me again, and surprise, surprise, I walk out from my parents' bedroom in uniform. Next thing I know, I see my grandma and my aunt just run towards me. They hug me. They were happy. My cousins were surprised. Nobody expected it. And of course, you had that one Tia that was like, "Oh my gosh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew this all along." And it was funny because my dad was recording it, and you can hear my aunt saying that. I'm not saying she ruined the video, but
And
it
she
was pretty
enhanced it.
obvious. Yeah.
Also, I like how your best birthday party was this wholesome family moment, and mine is yeah. I got a bunch of my friends together. We flashed the neighbors and got high.
Hey
It's
man, we all have different birthdays.
way to make mine just sound like the most I don't know what's the word like frat thing ever compared to yours. But I mean, that sounds like a fun time. You do anything fun after everyone knew you were there?
Oof. Honestly, I think that was the highlight of that
Just
trip.
showing up.
You know, the yeah. Because I remember for just a week or two after that, I was just straight up in my bed, sleeping in, eating a crap ton of junk food. I did spend time with my parents, but
Right.
the main purpose of that leave was just to forget about work. Because it was
R-
the first leave I had in a year. First time seeing my parents, first time being home, so I just got comfortable.
I mean, that's fair. Think
I don't think I even told you I was back home. I think
probably
you were aware. We
not.
just didn't hang out.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know what happened or why we didn't hang out. I think either I was busy with work or something. Cause if you were in town during May, which is our birth month, we definitely would have done something. Cause I would have been like, all right, we're going to the beach or we're going to somewhere.
Yeah, I
Because now I
just
think about it, uh, I don't think we've had a leave on your in May that we did something for both our birthdays.
yeah, I'm not. Nothing's coming to mind. The only time I remember us hanging out was during my second leave when we went to Knott's.
Oh yeah, was that
That's it.
before or after you insulted that person?
Oh yeah, that was so mean of me to do that. So for those of you that don't know, there was one day where we just hung out, me, Desmond, and my cousin. We were trying to look for something to do, and we found this. This. I guess what do you call it?
I don't know.
There's like VR video game arcade. So yes, it had an arcade, it had a play center, and it had like a VR headset play center as well. So we show up, and the first red flag was the fact that it was next to a store,
Yeah, it wasn't its
and I
own
was like,
building.
yeah, and I was like, okay, that's not a good sign. But anyways, let's continue on inside. We go inside, literally nothing but kids and families in there. And I'm trying to look around. I see a small ass arcade, mostly just empty space. And when I turn to the left, I just see two VR headsets out in the open.
Yes.
And as I get to the front and then buying my stuff, I tell the lady, "Hey, so I thought this was a place for adults." And she's like, "Oh yeah, it is. It is a place." And I just remember asking for a refund.
No, no, you're holding back on what you told this woman.
Isn't that what I said?
It was more along the lines of like, hey, oh yeah, I'd like to get a refund or like credit because like, oh, this place wasn't what I thought it was. I thought it was gonna be more, it was like you said something along the lines of, I thought this was gonna be different or like a different type of setting, not just for kids. And then the
I just
moment you said that, she just kind of like was like upset, but not like upset like you insulted her, but more like upset as in like this whole experience is gonna be a rough one.
I insulted her business and all of the hard work she did, all of the time and effort she put into it.
Here's the thing, I didn't see anyone else working there other than the manager she got, so she might have been the sole employee.
Just adds more injury to insult.
Oh, but that wasn't for your birthday, was it?
No, that was just us hanging out.
Okay. Because then, yeah, then we actually didn't have like a thing for both our birthdays. Other than,
I don't know.
you going to the the restaurant that you thought was Filipino, but definitely wasn't.
Yep, turned out to be a Brazilian restaurant
It
instead.
wasn't a Brazilian restaurant.
It
It's a
wasn't?
no. It's a mixture of everything. Oh,
Okay, I am so uncultured.
because okay, because it had a sushi bar, it had like a vegetable bar, and then it had like like a Chinese steam bamboo steaming section. It had American food. It had foreign like food like the frog legs, a Brazilian grill, and then a whole like Italian dessert center, and then American Dessert Center. So it was like a mixture of
Oh,
everything. None of those things were
gotcha.
Filipino, by the way.
I was way off the mark.
Literally nothing about that was Filipino. Like if I remember correctly, there is actually zero dishes from the Philippines there because Filipino food does not store well. That is
Doesn't.
one of the things. We use so much oil and other stuff in it that like once you leave that to set at like room temperature under a warmer or whatever, that thing's not gonna be good for like another hour. That thing is like has a shelf life of minutes.
Not days, but
No,
minutes.
exactly. That's why it wouldn't do well in like a buffet setting because you're gonna have to toss majority of that stuff out within the day. It's gonna be a net loss.
Well, then I guess I have not had Filipino food at all.
You lied to your girlfriend, didn't you?
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh
I,
no.
I
I just
mean,
stepped on a landmine.
to be fair, you can then just use that as being like, "Hey, I've never tried Filipino food," and then she can cook for you because apparently that's something a lot of Filipinos like to do. As soon as they hear you haven't had Filipino food, they will offer you some almost immediately.
Good
So you
to
got
know.
that to look forward to. I never did it because I actually don't know how to cook Filipino food, and I also been eating it most of my life, so I'm sick of it. Like straight up honest with you. There are very few Filipino foods to this day. I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'll have that. Cause like I'm just like
I'm
I'm
this.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I was gonna say I've had it for so long for like 20 plus years. I'm just tired of it.
I'm the same with Mexican food. I'm very picky with it. Because, I grew up eating it, so whenever I go to the restaurant, I feel like I'm twice as more, or I expect twice as much from a Mexican restaurant as opposed to, a Japanese, Korean, Italian restaurant. I
I
hold it
mean,
to a higher standard. So that's why it's always hard for me to find a good Mexican restaurant that I like.
I mean fair. I mean
Which
I'm the brain. I'm that way currently with any restaurant because I'm like since I can only eat very specific things, I'm like I could just make this at my house. Why do I need to go to a restaurant? I only go to places that serve things I literally can't make or don't know how to make. Like, there's this one Mexican restaurant by me that I didn't go to for my birthday, but I went to somewhere close to my birthday. And they have everything you could. No, I did go there for my 21st birthday because I remember this is the same place. I had three large margaritas over the course of an hour.
oof.
Yeah, it was like, hey, 21st birthday, drink up, kid. And down that stuff. But then I've discovered my love for this Mexican dish called no, what is this? It's chili relleno, which is like cheese and a deep fried pepper.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's a death
Chili.
sentence for me right there.
Oh yeah, because you can't do spicy food.
Yep.
But I mean, chili relleno is not spicy. You might like it.
Had it once.
It's so
It's
good.
good, just not to my tasting. I'm more of a tamales and tacos guy.
Fair. I mean, that's fair. And that that Mexican restaurant that I've been going to since like my 21st birthday has been like the go-to Mexican restaurant because it's the best and most authentic one possible. Because I can go to any like Mexican restaurant, right, and I will never find this item. Not chili reno, but I think that too. But they also have a birria soup, and
Ooh,
it's such a. If you haven't had birria soup, it's such an experience.
I had birria tacos.
Oh, dude, imagine that, but just in that like red soup that it's like in a lot of like Mexican places that have, and a like bunch of like spices and flavors, and then you could just be like, oh yeah, here's like your side of flour tortillas. Just dip it in that soup with some of that meat.
I know exactly what you're talking about, buddy. We have a restaurant like that right off base
Hmm.
that specializes in that, and dude, they are amazing.
And also, for those who don't know, birria is goat. because I didn't know that until they said there was this a waiter server that was there, and he was the one who introduced me to it. He was like, "Oh yeah, birria is a pretty good choice," and I'm like, "What is that?" He's like, "Oh, it's goat soup." I'm like, "Goat soup?" He's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Sure, why not?" And it is the best thing I've had in my, I guess, life trying Mexican food. That's probably my favorite one is birria soup. And
Glad
I
you
never
enjoyed
would
it.
have, yeah, I never would have experienced that if I never decided to get blackout drunk at a random Mexican restaurant. Because let me tell
Yep,
you,
that's how it normally goes.
yeah, like let me tell you, 21st birthday, 3 large margaritas, dude, I was gone. I was gone. That you, because like they're not like when I say large, it's like oh you mean like somewhat big. No, it's like just the part that holds the alcohol. You can hold that in your hand, and it takes up your entire palm. And I had 3 of those: regular, strawberry, and I think mango flavor. And just all of those should be like, I think I'm gonna pass out.
You tasted the rainbow.
Basically. And it's really cool. And I mean, like, it was a good time. It was like one of my favorite restaurants I found on a whim, and the fact it was on my birthday was even better. But if there's
A
one place I
noble
want to,
experiment.
yeah, if there's one place I want to try for a birthday thing, I heard there's a restaurant in Texas. I'm not sure if it's still there, but they make margaritas. But instead of tequila, you know what they use?
What do they use?
There's an alcohol called Everclear, and that can
Oh no.
have. Oh, you know what Everclear is?
No, I'm already assuming the worst.
Some Everclear can get up to about 80% or 90% alcohol, depending on which you use.
Sweet goodness.
So imagine having like a margarita, right? But that margarita is 80% just straight alcohol.
Yeah, I'll black out after just having one of those.
I would too, but I can't, I would love to just try it, just for my birthdays to be like, yeah, I'll just have the Everclear margarita. He's like, all right, here you go, and just sip it and just
Good
wake up.
luck.
Yeah, just wake up somewhere else. Like, where am I? What did I do? Post drunk clarity. But that's yeah, it's been our birthdays. Not as exciting because we're kind of stationary. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but I mean, in the future, doing things would be fun if I could. And who knows? But I think that'll be it. Just talking about the San Diego trip, small birthdays, random tangents. It's kind of an off episode because yeah, I'm exhausted and Martin's exhausted, and we're just kind of throwing whatever we can think of on this episode and hoping it sticks.
Yep. I'm
Also,
like 50% here, 50% somewhere else.
exactly. Also, by the time this goes up, it's nowhere gonna be near our birthdays because our birthday's in May. By the time this goes up, I think this will be towards the end of June. So take that into consideration. Just be like, hey, it was our birthday, but we've experienced our 25th for a while by the time you see this video. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. And takeaway from this, I guess, is enjoy your birthdays, have fun. Don't be afraid to get out there and try new things. Don't drink Everclear.
Have fun, but don't have too much fun because the last thing you want to do is wake up in a prison cell.
Exactly. Coming from our boy Martin in the Air Force. And don't worry, we'll have higher energy next time because next time is talking about I have to check. I wrote it down, but next time will be
The
better, I
wonders of
promise.
Scientology.
No. I think the next one has to do with like our taste in anime. Hold on.
Nice.
No. It's it's about animals in general. It's about animals
Oh,
and
okay.
nature in general. Which I mean, if
Gotcha.
you want to be a weeb, you can slip in Talks of Monster Girl. Something you
Of
can't get
course.
enough of apparently.
That's my moment to shine.
It's gonna be really weird. I'm gonna be talking about actual animals, and you're gonna be talking about monster girls. But look forward to that. Sorry about for this low effort video. We're just out of it, and we might as well just do it, because like I'd rather have a low energy episode than no episode because of the algorithm, but also because I want to get into the habit of doing this even if I'm tired, so I can make myself put out more things. And the fact that Martin agreed to it, despite him waking up 30 minutes prior to starting this episode, is very respectable.
Thank you. Thank you.
You could have said no at any point, and you were like, "No, let's do
Yeah,
it." In fact, you're the one
might
who
as
started the
well.
call. Wait, no. Also, for those who know our intro, I'm usually the one who starts the call. No, today Martin was the one that started the call.
I took the initiative.
Hell yeah, look at you becoming more like a content creator. Now turn on the face cam and do a 24-hour live stream.
I could never do that.
I could if this was my job. Like, if I was to the point where, like, this is paying the bills, I would 100% do a 24-hour live stream any day of the week. Because if it's paying the bills, I mean, what else am I going to do to not do it, you know? That didn't make any
Might as
sense,
well.
but my brain is fried. And I'm going to call the episode here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and I hope you guys continue to chill with us. See you in the next video.
Take care, everyone.